passionate appeal by the president, and you won't be wrong. He has asked the Niger Delta Avengers to give peace a chance. The Avengers have continued attacks on the nation's oil pipelines, ignoring a truce to ceasefire and dialogue with the government. In a moment, we'll be speaking to a consultant to the Senate on Niger Delta and House Committee on Power from Abuja on the issues surrounding the persistent attacks and what the government should be looking to do in this situation. The Abia State Governorship tussle continues with the big question on the lips of many. Who is in charge after Justice Abang rules the incumbent vacates the seats of governor of the state? Not so fast, Ikweazu says. He's exploring the many legal actions stated in the Constitution to protect his mandate. Will the governorship receive fair hearing in what he says is a calculated hostile takeover attempt hinged on payment of tax and the whole 9 yards? Data feeds still coming through in one place simultaneously on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, channelstv.com, youtube.com/Channel Club. You too can be part of the show. Tweet using the hashtag State of the Nation and at Gimba Umar CTV. Let's get your thoughts on the subject. The Nigerian army is celebrating successful counterinsurgency operations by reopening the Dikpa-Mafa Gamburu Road in Borno State. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, in the ceremony marking the end of the 2016 Army Day celebration, with the State Governor Kashim Shettima in attendance, has declared the road safe for civilian passage. Much later in the show, though, we will go live to Maiduguri. The Theatre Commander, Operation Latia Dole, will hopefully join us to talk to us about this some more. It's prime time in Lagos, and this is State of the Nation. Nigeria, I am Gimba Umar, and this is State of the Nation. The screen right behind me, data feeds all coming through on our social media platforms in real time. Tweets using the hashtag State of the Nation and Gimba Umar CTV. And be part of the show. We will begin with a breaking news. A third contender has emerged to the Abia governorship seat. This latest confusion triggered by Dr. Uchechukwu Samson Olga just over the weekend, who obtained a court order which sacked Governor Okezie Ikpeazu and affirmed him as governor-elect, expanded over this weekend. We'll be looking at that issue very closely. The Abia State High Court in Osisioma has granted a motion filed by Governor Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State for extension of order restraining the Chief Judge of the Abia State government, the President, of course, of the Abia State Customary Court of Appeal, and any other judicial officer from swearing in Mr. Uche Oga as governor of the state. The order extends to the 18th of July 2016. Well, another ruling has come through, though. Another federal high court which has affirmed that Governor Okezie Ikpeazu's tax documents were not forged. That's a ruling by Justice Ambrose Alagoa of a federal high court in Owerri, saying that Ikpeazu's selection is valid. Max Ozaoka, the counsel to Samson Olga, joins me on State of the Nation to get a clearer perspective of the prevailing circumstances that has greeted Abia State. Many thanks indeed for coming on the show. What do you make of this latest court rulings on Abia's governorship tussle? If you can hear me, I'm just asking you, what do you make of the court judgments? We've had about several of them, 3 of them to be precise. What do you make of the latest court rulings on Abia governorship tussle?
Okay, let me start with the judgment delivered today by the Federal High Court in Owerri. What the court did was to dismiss the suit of Sir Nwanozie Nwosu. Nwosu has gone to court challenging the election of Okezie on the ground that his tax documents were forged. The court, in our view, rightly dismissed the suit because indeed the documents were not forged. It's different from the suit of Dr. Oga. When we talk about forgery, it's a completely different thing from false information. The court in Owerri stated simply that the case of forgery has not been proved because when you allege forgery in a civil case, you are expected to prove it beyond reasonable doubt. But that was not done today in the case in Owerri. So the court rightly ruled or judged that the tax documents were not forged. I want to say that that judgment is a victory for all the defendants in that case, including Uche Oga, and particularly for Uche Oga. The court has not in any way differentiated or departed from the judgment of Abang in Abuja, which rightly found that the documents submitted by Okeze contained false information under Section 31(5) of the Electoral Act. That is different from what the court in Owerri did. So in other words, the court in Owerri has not affirmed the election of Okeze Ikpeazu vis-à-vis the judgment reached by the court in Abuja.
But another court has actually said that, to stay proceedings so far, and you're saying something contrary to that. Are you saying that the court's judgment is invalid?
Pardon me with that, Mr.
Yes, I'm asking you, are you saying that the Federal High Court's judgment in this case is invalid, asking that proceedings be stayed?
No court has said that proceedings should stay, to the best of my knowledge. The court in Abuja, there are two matters that came before the court in Abuja today. One was by Dr. Oga against Okeze, in respect of which the substantive judgment was delivered on the 27th. Today, what came up for hearing was a post-judgment proceeding where the court was asked to pronounce on the issue of stay of execution filed before the court. And the court was of the view that the filing of the appeal does not necessarily divest it of the jurisdiction to hear the application for stay of execution. In any case, having found that it has jurisdiction to hear the application for stay of proceeding, the court, for some other reason, did not pronounce on whether or not execution should be stayed in that particular case.
Let me comment.
With that of
Interesting. Let me just come in here. In the center of this argument that you just put forward concerning the tax papers, saying whether or not they were forged, it has been established that they were not forged, they were just wrongly put forward to the courts. Does it then suggest to you that this case
No, that's not what I'm saying. You're getting me wrong.
Does it then suggest to you that this case be closed?
Let me interrupt you.
If you can hear me.
No, you're getting me wrong. The Section 31(5) of the Electoral Act says that if a candidate submits documents that contain false information, or if in his INEC form CF001, that is the affidavit of particulars of a person seeking office as a governor, if there are false information contained there, then the court, if that is challenged, has the authority and the jurisdiction under Section 31(6) to declare and confirm that that information is false, and for that reason should and can disqualify that candidate. And that was precisely what the court did in Uche Oga and Ikpeazu's
Okay,
case.
let's clear the air on this whole scenario that we have painted. Earlier we had the Abia State Internal Revenue Service boss made comments. Let's take a listen to what the Abia State Internal Revenue Service boss had to say about this situation.
I heard that they said that the receipt was dated 31st of December 2011, which was on a Saturday. As far as payee tax is concerned, it ends on 31st day of December every year. No more, no less. 31st day of December every year. Whether it is on a Saturday or on a Sunday, the receipt must have to be dated 31st December of every year.
What do you make of the statement of the Internal Revenue boss of Abia State?
Well, reacting to that, let me simply say that the court found about 7 particulars that constitute false information on the tax papers of Dr. Ikpeazu. I wouldn't want to comment extensively on that because the judgment of the court has been delivered, and anybody that cares to know what exactly were the findings of the court can go to the court and make certified true copies of the judgment. What he said is mere technicality, but there are a lot of things that the court pronounced which I don't want to comment upon. But like I said, the court had 7 particulars that constitute false information on the basis of which the court declared him not qualified at all to be a candidate even for that election. Thank you.
Many thanks indeed for your time and your thoughts. Talking to us, Max Osazo, for talking to us here on State of the Nation. We do appreciate your time and your thoughts.